Hi, everyone. So we're here with Joanne, and we have some exciting news. She's a director of program development of Literacy Chicago. So she brings skills to adult students, and then she also oversees volunteer tutor program for the Literacy Chicago. Did I say that correct, Joanne?
Literacy Chicago.
Perfect. So tell us what brought this passion. I know we spoke a couple nights ago, and I was really impressed with what you were saying, and it was just amazing. What brought you to this program and how you actually developed it, where it's going to be helping all these people?
So I've always loved reading, and I've always loved teaching, even though I didn't think I would be a teacher, but that turned out to be something that I enjoyed doing. And when I was away for many years from Chicago for many, many years. And when I came back, I found a job teaching, and I found several jobs teaching, and one of them was at Literacy Chicago, where I was hired to create a citizenship program and teach it. So I created a citizenship program with 2 different levels, depending on how good somebody's English was. And I started teaching it. And I started learning more about what Literacy Chicago does. This was in 2016. And I was absolutely shocked and amazed to know that so many people in Chicago can't read. And I'm talking about Americans who were born here. We know that there's a lot of immigrants in Chicago who can't read, but they might be able to read in their own language, but not English. I'm talking about Americans who you meet in the street, who you can talk to every day, who understand absolutely everything. They're citizens, they can vote, they can drive, they can work, but they can't read. And before COVID, the statistics that I could find were 882,000 people in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Shocked, and I hope everybody listening is shocked.
Yeah.
I don't have any more current statistics, but I suspect that the number has not gone down. If anything, it's gone up because of COVID. So when I got the opportunity to join full-time as Director of Program Development in 2018, I was thrilled. The Executive Director of Literacy Chicago is somebody who is absolutely passionate about helping others learn English, helping others learn to read, helping people to become citizens, helping people to get their GEDs. We also work with different nonprofit organizations in the city who offer workforce skills in culinary arts or in construction and carpentry. So I just thought Literacy Chicago was an amazing organization, and I still do. And I have the pleasure of leading the volunteer team. We have about 150 volunteers, and I'm looking for more. So if anybody's interested, I'm sure we can get you the link maybe below this podcast to sign up or to reach out to me and find out what that entails. We're looking for volunteers in all around the city because we hope to open classes for reading near to where people live. We already have ESL classes in libraries from Humboldt Park to Westtown to Belmont-Cragen neighborhood and downtown Chicago. And we're trying to get some more reading classes because, believe it or not, one of the biggest barriers to learning to read as an adult is transportation. It's a simple problem to solve. We just have to go into the neighborhood and start a class. But to do that, I need volunteers. And we train volunteers in our methods. And we're always looking for new and exciting ways to teach people. So I can go on and on about this.
So tell us, what are some methods that you use to teach also the volunteers that are actually doing the volunteer work and dedicating some time to put into the community? How do you actually train them, and what are the steps that you go through with them?
So we have a 15-hour training program, so you don't need to know how to teach. You just
Okay.
need to want to help someone. And people come because they want to help somebody, and they stay because of what you get back. Because you receive a lot of pleasure when you help somebody do something. And in fact, studies are showing that volunteering is one of the best things you can do to ward off dementia. It's really interesting, but you're using different parts of your brain and making new neural pathways. So in this training program, we teach everything you need to know to either teach an adult to read or help somebody with their English. And there's a lot of techniques that are just straightforward, easy to learn techniques that you might not think of to help somebody. And we talk a lot about the students, where they come from, and how we can help them besides just using specific techniques. Because a lot of times I've discovered that the people who didn't learn how to read, it's for a lot of different reasons. And some people have learning disabilities, but some people couldn't go to school because they had to hit the streets to bring in money to eat. And you can't learn when you're hungry. You just can't. If you're in school and you're starving, you're not going to learn. Other people have all kinds of issues. And one of the ways we can help them is by supporting them and believing in them and trusting that they can do something, because so many people have never had anyone pushing them. So saying, you can, just hang in there. You know, we're not giving up on you, so you can't give up on you. And I found that it's just beautiful. I've met so many wonderful people. We welcome them with a hug in the morning, because you can never give too much love. You can never care too much about somebody. And it's reciprocal. So
Right.
it's a very joyful place.
Oh, I love that. And you talked about that, about spreading love and nurturing, like actual nurturing adults, because you're right. You don't know what they've gone through in their lifetime and their lifespan. Like, it's very interesting on how some of these people get to the place where they can't go a little bit further because they weren't pushed. So what else do you do? I know I was reading a little bit, and I want to tell them a little bit more about your career. You've done a lot of traveling. You have a span of education in radio, television, and even brain training. What does that mean? Brain training. Like, that's something interesting, because I always talk about you have to be able to do a different mindset and train your brain to switch. And I've been doing that as well. So what is it that you learned with the brain training? Because that's just something that, like, I'm like, oh, that connected me a lot with you, Joanne.
We have a lot of connections, Jovi, I think. But I worked for a well-known psychologist named Elsa Bear, and she asked me to create a brain training program for her patients, because people were forgetting things. As you age, you do forget things. And so I looked into figuring out what different parts of the brain could do. And I'm not a brain specialist, but I read a lot, I talked to her, and I developed exercises to work on different things, like how to remember someone's name, or, exercises in doing visualization, in counting. We did just anything to stimulate your brain, lots and lots of games and interactive games. So we did this brain training in groups. It was really fun. And because there's some things that help the brain. So one I mentioned already was volunteering. Another thing that's really important for the brain is socializing, because when you socialize, you have to use a lot of different parts of your brain. You listen, you look, and you have to understand what somebody is telling you. And it might be new to you, and you might not have ever seen it like that. So that's going to click off some thinking and some neural pathways. And the whole thing is to keep creating new neural pathways so that your brain doesn't develop Alzheimer's. As long as you keep doing something that's new and challenging for your brain will keep functioning. So it's not just doing the crossword puzzle every day, because after a while, your brain knows how to do it. And then it's not challenged anymore. So learning a language is a really good way to challenge your brain. Volunteering. And then there's different foods you can eat. You can have, so my favorites are a glass of red wine every day. It's good for the brain. Although I think every other day is better for the body, but red wine's good for the brain. Dark chocolate, salmon, fruits and vegetables. If you eat a lot of those, it feeds your brain. So I made up all kinds of different games and exercises that would stimulate different parts of the brain. And that was fun. And now you asked me about what we're doing here. So we decided to create programs that are, number one, the main word, the key word is fun. F-U-N, fun. It is so much easier to remember something if you are enjoying yourself. And adults have lots of barriers. So if any adult decides to go learn something new, you've got barriers. Your barriers are called life. So it could be illness, it could be somebody needs you, it could be your work, it could be this or that, any class anyone takes. So you have to, as an adult, you have to really want to be there to get up in the middle of a snowstorm and go. And so the idea is to make our classes so much fun and to make the atmosphere so warm and friendly that people want to be here. And even if it's raining, we're in Chicago, so we've got rain, we've got days that are too hot, we've got days that are too cold, and people come because of the camaraderie. They meet people, so they're socializing, and then we have two different systems. We have a system of tutoring one-on-one. So if somebody is working and they can't make it to any classes or they need extra help, we can provide that. It's all free of charge for our students.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah. And the classes, so we have 2 classes a day, and each one is different, and they're all run by volunteers. So just to give you an example, we have like a class on how to learn to read through poetry. Another one, and they've been writing poetry. It's amazing. Another class that uses American tidbits in American history. At the end of the class, they play like a Jeopardy game. Another class is writing, learning to write. So today, like write an email. Today, I know they're writing postcards, and that they can go.
Wow.
And so but just writing a postcard, if you've never written a postcard, you don't even know where to, put the date, where to put the signature, where to put the address. So you have to learn where to put things and then think about what you're going to say. And you can't write a lot, so you have to say it in a short and precise way. So it's an interesting exercise. One of the most popular classes is called Reading the World, and it's all about the sciences. And so it's geography and it's biology and it's, how do storms happen? What's a storm? What's a rainstorm? And, what's life like in the Sahara Desert? So, and everything is taught in a way that's engaging and positive. And in addition to that, we have been doing a pilot, and I'm very, very excited about this, with a woman I've been working with for the last about 2.5 years, who lives in Lucknow, India. And her name is Sunita Gandhi. And she has created a method to teach reading very quickly. And it's used a lot with kids, and it's very successful with kids all over. It's being used, starting to be used in many different countries. And so I've been doing a pilot with our adults.
Okay.
And the results are spectacular. The people who have come to every class have gone from not being able to read to reading.
Wow.
It's spectacular. It's it's an amazing program, and we want to roll this out big time in the United States. So that's another project I'm working on. This is interesting because it goes from what a student knows already to what he doesn't know. So instead of taking an abstract letter like A, they don't know what's an A? It's nothing. It's something abstract. And saying, oh, well, this abstract symbol goes to this word, apple. And they can't read apple either. Okay. So it's just going from abstract to abstract. Whereas in this method, we work with the sound, not the name of the letter. And that's the hardest thing for our adults to get their minds around. Forget the letter. Look at what the sound it makes. So we show them a picture of a car and we say, what's this? And they know what that is. It's a car. Then you say, what's the sound? What sound is the first sound? And when they can get that, when they see that little C, it sounds like, then they're reading. And the whole method is like that. It's very interesting. And so I'm excited about that. There's so many exciting things always happening.
That does sound exciting. That's really good. Yeah, you're going to have to roll out that program because it sounds really good. And if they can read fast, that's even better. That's the main goal, is for them to start reading and progressing, right?
Right. And if there are people listening who would like to get involved, anyway, volunteering, donating time or donating money is always great. I'm going to be training people who in this method, and I think it's really exciting. So if there are people who really want to do something extremely fun, very easy to teach. In fact, it's all about the teacher standing back and asking questions and allowing the students to think and figure it out. And it really works.
Okay.
So.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Very interesting. And we're going to be putting the link on this podcast just so everyone knows exactly where to go and how to reach out to you. So yeah, definitely. We're going to have all of that on here.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything else? What else would you like to add to this interview that I'm having with you?
Well, if people would like to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, LinkedIn, or check out our website, which will also be below this podcast. Keep up with our events. We have 2 events every year that are annual. One is in one is in October this year, October 26th. It's called Spooky Sips. And the author of The Walking Dead, Jay Bonensinger, comes to read Scary Story. It's a really good, fun event. It's like $20 for early bird tickets. So it's not a big investment for somebody. But if you want to come and have fun, join us. And then we have a big gala that will take place in the spring. And that one's always a lot of fun too. Last year we had a magician come and walk around doing magic tricks, and it was really great. And the idea again is not just to have people come and give us money, but to spend a nice evening with us and enjoy it. We're all about enjoyment. Life is too short not to have fun, right?
Exactly. It's true. It's very, very true. You have to enjoy life. We only get one life, so we either run with it and make it what we needed to make it out to be. And volunteering, oh my God, that's even better. I know that I'm interested, and I know once I finish up with my projects that I have, and I have several projects that I'm working on. But next year, I know for sure I'll be on with Literacy Chicago. So yes. And yeah, we'll also put the Eventbrite as well for Spooky Books. Is that correct?
Spooky Sips.
Spooky Sip, sorry.
We get to sip, right?
Right.
We get to sip stuff. And it's in a little bookstore in the West Loop called Madison Street Books. And it's a really nice bookstore that opened right during COVID, and they're doing really well. They have really great books. We're happy to promote them. And this is our third time in that same space, and we love having it there. And it's been amazing.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I can't wait. I already have my ticket.
You have your costume, Jovi?
I haven't decided yet.
That'll be a prize for the best one.
Okay. I know Alice and I are deciding on that, so we'll see.
Come as twins.
Right? Oh man, that's cool. So anything else that you want to add to this?
Like I said, we're always looking for people to join us and to help us because we are a non-for-profit. So we'll take your time, we'll take your money, we'll take you into our family and grow together. We're always looking for, when we do training, the training it's very intensive. It's 15 hours, but at the end, we asked, do you have ideas to make this better? And I can say it just keeps getting better and better, but not because of us, but because we're bringing people into the family, the Literacy Chicago family. And we'd love to have the whole city join us.
Right, exactly. No, yeah, absolutely.
One other thing that we're working on is, I didn't talk a lot about our ESL classes, but we've been working with Ukrainian refugees in a Ukrainian cathedral. We have classes in libraries all over the city. So if somebody is interested, just go to the library site. If your library doesn't have an English class and you want one, tell them about us. That's how we've been growing. If we're starting to some classes with some of the migrants who've been coming in, so we can help them adapt to life in the city and be productive residents. So
I love it. I love it so much. Oh man. So I want to thank you. And I appreciate all the knowledge that you're giving us. I know I want to interview you again.
Sure.
And we're going to have to set up another one where we're going to interview you and go more into detail, especially more about your life.
My life has been a journey.
Right. So we're going to get that going too.
I would love to be. to be back, to come back.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're definitely gonna have you. So this is Jovi Marie, and I have Joanne here with us with Literacy Chicago. I am so grateful that you took your time and you also gave us all this information and how you're helping the community. I love it. That's the main thing. We have to help one another. It's not about what we can take, what we can do, but what we can do for our community and for people, you know, we're all human.
You can never love too much.
Exactly. I love that. Definitely, definitely. All right, everyone.
Thank you
So
very much. I'm honored to be on your program,
thank
and
you.
I'd be honored to come back.
Yeah, definitely. We have to set it up.
Okay.
All
Meanwhile, I'll
right.
see you
Well,
at
everyone.
Spooky Tips.
Oh, yes, definitely. So, everyone, we're going to have all of Joanne's information below, also about Literacy Chicago. And also, we're going to have different links on there. So, if you're interested in purchasing some tickets, you're going to have to log in here and get them. So, like and subscribe. And thank you so much. Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.